Hello, welcome to my channel. Are your bathroom tiles falling off? There's many reasons for this. In this video, I'm going to give you a step-by-step direction on how to replace, repair, and do it properly by the British standard. Thank you. Roll the cues. Yeah, no, this isn't Tommy Cooper. This is me. This is my lampshade, but the way I sit on my sofa, it sometimes looks like I'm Tommy Cooper. Just like that. Anyway, as you can see in this bathroom, this is I get this a lot when I'm fitting bathrooms. You can see that the tiles have come away. There's many reasons for this. A lot of the times it's people they tile on plasterboard or on wet plaster or browning as they call it. Really in a wet area you should, by the British standard, be tiling on backer boards, tile backer boards, and tanking the wet areas. A lot of people will dispute this and say, you know, I've taken tiles off and they've been dry as a bone. But if you get movement in house and failure of the grout, the water will slowly work its way in, and then it will delaminate the tiles, as you can see in this particular scenario I'm at, is where someone has tiled on the tiles, and the tiles have come away and got behind the old tiles and then gone into a solid wall. So I'll show you the process of what I do, which is the correct way of doing it by the British standard. This is your board. So this is weedy board on a 6mm. They do them in 6 and 12s. You also get Hardi board, which is cement board. I prefer this. It's easy to cut. I used to start with Hardi backer board, and then I went to this. In this particular installation I've used Hardi. It's the same principle, only that you use washers. There's loads of information on every manufacturer's website. Weedy board, same size as Hardi. You use stainless steel screw and washer. Stainless steel because it reacts with the cement in the adhesive and they can rot over time. So use stainless steel, use the correct screws they supply. So this against the, in this situation we're going over old tiles. I've checked they're secure. So what we do is, on a full board, this is a cut piece and off cut, but on a full 1200 by 8 you use 6 screws with washers. Okay, so what I've done here, I've screwed a little hole through on each one. I've then used my I forgot the call, what's it called? Anyway, my pen, my marker pen that squirts a thing through, it'll come to me in a minute. So you then do that, then I drill the hole out. The reason I do that is otherwise you make this too big and then it can fall through unless you're using the washers. And then obviously conventionally then you drill your 6mm holes, screw and plug, and then put these on. But in this case what I did, as you've seen, I've screeded on some fast set adhesive and leveled it that way, a bit like plastering. But there's lots of ways you can do it. So anyway, that's why we always use boards, and we always tank wet areas so that if any movement occurs, the water gets in behind the grout, then it still has, it goes onto this and not into a plasterboard wall or wood where it would fail. These are the stainless steel washers you use with the weedy board, not the Hardi board. That's a different system, so it's quite confusing, but these are the washers you can get them from Wicks, etc. So I'm at the job site. This is the wall to be tiled. So it's been, I've put this Hardi board onto the tiles, onto the old tiles, and I've then screeded it with some fast set S1 adhesive. I've used 6 screws per board. Here you can see me using an S1 adhesive, and I'm skimming it like you would a wall with multi-finish, and using a Featheredge to flatten it. It was bowing in the middle. I didn't really need to do this because the tiles are very small and square like the old-fashioned tiles, but a bit of a perfectionist and it's good practice. So this packed the wall out properly, and as you can see now, this wall is ready for tiling. So this is how I set my tiles out. I use a piece of conduit. I mark it on the board, just like a gauging stick you can use on the wall. I put the spacers in this case, the customer wanted 3mm spacers. I draw a little line on it and then use that on the wall to do my set out, so I can spread the tiles on the wall equally. Set out is very important for the aesthetics of the installation. So work completed so far. Of tiles on, tile removed. 16 tiles are okay. Installation of 6mm Hardi board, 9 screws per sheet at 1200 by 800s. That's just the size of the Hardi. You can get bigger sizes. And now we're ready for the exciting bit. Let's get tiling. So first row is on. Here's a laser level. those little curly wedges, which are fantastic. Back butt the tile, and then now we can trowel the 6mm on, and we're away, and I've feathered the wall out. So the favourite bit, tiling. So you can see I've got the 6mm trowel, I've got my tiles. These are the basic tiles. This is all the customer wanted. I'm only doing this far back wall and integrating it with the existing tiles. It was more of a repair job. This is an elderly customer, and she just her husband actually tiled it before, so it was quite poignant really. I had to be respectful, so I blended it all in for her and kept the tiles the same grout line with the existing tiles. I used a 6mm trowel, an S1 standard set adhesive. I could have used rapid set, but it started this in the afternoon, and then I grouted it the next day. I've not shown the grouting. I can do that in another video. As you can see, I've got a nice flat wall. I've got small tiles, so the background surface preparation, as in the levels, isn't imperative, but it's good to be a perfectionist. I allowed the S1 adhesive to dry. I didn't PVA it or anything. I just tiled straight on it with a normal standard set S1 adhesive. And as you can see, I'm troweling the tiles about 2 lines at a time. Although it's standard set, it can go off the tile adhesive, which can then cause the tiles not to stick to them properly. I'm back buttering the tiles very slightly, which is good practice to allow it to adhere onto the wall surface. I'm using 3mm tile spacers. That's the customer's preference, and that's what was on the existing wall, so I could keep the grout line in line. And then I'm just tiling up the wall, as you can see, working my way methodically. I highly recommend these Rotero wedges, the red ones. These are brilliant for allowing any deviations in the wall, and I'm using a laser level as well. As you can see, I cut in my first line at the bottom against the bath. This is critical, so I either scribe it in or I work off a batten. But this is very important to get the correct line of tiles to make sure they're definitely plumb and working up. And then later on, once the tiles have dried, the next day I'll return back and I'll silicone into the bath, and I'll also silicone around the edges, the movement joints up the side between the 2 tiles. Some people grout, but I always try and put silicone. I use colour match silicone. The Bow products are fantastic. So now we're nearly finished the wall. We're working our way up. We're halfway there. So to cut the tiles, I'm using a manual tile cutter. Links for it are in the description below for all these items you can purchase. These are ideal for small spaces. And these small tiles are only about 4mm, so they're quite easy to snap and cut. You can see my lovely Makita radio, job site radio. I love these, amazing. I love all the Makita products actually. And then I'm using a variable speed grinder to grind any small cuts. I didn't really have any on this, it's just around the fan, as you can see in the top. But these variable speed grinders, mine's a battery one, 18 volt LXT. Highly recommended. Make sure they're variable speed, because you can change the speed of how you cut the tiles. So we're nearly working our way up now. We're nearly up to the top. Again, troweling 6mm adhesive, back buttering the tile, and working our way to nearly finishing this job. So I'm just scribing the last line of tiles up to the wall reveal. I use my grinder for this. I had to remove the fan and reinstall it. Customer didn't want it replaced. All the tools and materials I've used in this video are in the link in the description below. And any questions, please leave in the comments, and I'll endeavour to answer them as soon as I can. Please like, subscribe. Thank you.